Hello and welcome. I'm here to be your guide for this session, bringing you insights from years of hands-on experience in modern hospitality operations. It's a real pleasure to welcome all students of Europe Hotel School to this explainer. We're really dedicated to supporting your professional growth in this amazing, dynamic industry.
So, today we're going to dive deep into a tool that is absolutely critical for anyone wanting to excel in hotel management, and that's variance analysis. I promise you, mastering this is a game changer for driving strong financial performance. This whole session is designed with you in mind, the next generation of hospitality leaders who need practical, real-world skills that you can literally apply to day-to-day hotel operations. Our goal here is simple: to get you ready for leadership. We do that by blending deep industry experience with the powerful, data-driven insights that are shaping today's best hotel practices. All right, let's get into it. Here's our game plan for today. First, we'll go beyond the budget to understand the core concept. Then, we'll learn how to decode the signals, favorable versus unfavorable. After that, we'll investigate the why behind the numbers, turn all that analysis into real action, and finally see how this whole process makes our future planning so much sharper. It's really easy to think of variance analysis as just another boring accounting task. But trust me, it is so much more than that. It's really about uncovering the story that's hiding behind all those numbers. So at its heart, variance analysis is basically a systematic comparison. That's all it is. We take what we planned to happen, our budget, and we hold it right up against what actually happened. And the goal isn't just to spot the difference, it's to really truly understand what caused it. Okay, now let's talk about the two fundamental signals that variance analysis sends us. Every single variance tells you one of two things, and learning how to read them, well, that's the very first step toward mastery. It's actually pretty straightforward. A favorable variance, that's the good news. Think about your room revenue coming in way higher than you forecasted for the month. Or maybe your food and beverage costs ended up being lower than you budgeted. On the flip side, an unfavorable variance is like a little red flag, telling you to pay attention. It might mean you missed your sales targets, or maybe departmental costs got a little out of control. And this brings us to a really, really crucial philosophy here. This whole process is not about finding someone to blame when things go wrong. It's a tool for objective learning, for improvement across the entire team. It's about getting better together. So identifying a variance, that's the easy part. A simple spreadsheet can do that for you. But the real skill of a manager, where the real value comes from, is digging deeper to figure out the root cause, the why. And that why can usually be traced back to one of these areas you see right here. For instance, did a surprise citywide festival bring in a huge surge in bookings? Boom, that's a volume change. Did your linen suppliers suddenly jack up their prices? That's a price difference. Or maybe that new housekeeping schedule you rolled out just isn't working as efficiently as you'd hoped. And of course, there are things like a new competitor opening up down the street, a classic external factor. And this right here is the manager's most important job. You can't control that citywide event, right? But you can control how your hotel responds to it. Things like your staffing levels, your room pricing, your marketing push. Focusing your team's energy on those controllable factors, that's what really drives effective change. So now, let's see how all this analysis gets built into a really powerful management routine. Because, let's be honest, analysis without action is just an academic exercise. The real goal here is to use these insights to actually improve how the hotel operates. This is where it all comes together in your regular performance review. The general manager looks at the reports, then sits down with the department heads. The food and beverage director explains why their costs were over budget. The front office manager talks about why revenue per available room was a little below target. But this isn't an interrogation. It's a collaborative conversation, totally focused on problem solving and coming up with concrete, corrective actions for the future. And finally, let's talk about the big picture, strategic benefit. Because every single time you complete a cycle of variance analysis, you're not just fixing something that happened in the past, you're getting so much smarter about the future. Take a look at this chart. You can see a pretty significant unfavorable variance in room revenue. The budget was optimistic, but the actual results just didn't get there. Seeing a gap like this visually is powerful, but the real question is, what do we do with this new information? So how does this gap make us smarter? Well, by analyzing why it happened. Maybe a competitor's new promotional rates were way more aggressive than we anticipated.
we can create a much more realistic, much more accurate forecast for the next quarter. We literally learn from the deviation.
And this is really the ultimate takeaway. This isn't a one-time task you just check off a list. It is a continuous learning loop. You plan, you measure, you analyze, you act, and then you plan again. But this time, you're better. This cycle is what builds a culture of financial discipline and deep operational insight that separates the good hotels from the truly great ones. So I'll end with this question for you to think about. Variance analysis, yes, it's a technical skill, but its true power is unlocked through leadership. When you use data objectively and collaboratively, not to place blame, but to learn and to support your team, you build an incredible foundation of trust. And that is the hallmark of an exceptional hospitality leader.